Hey everybody, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the Tesla Model Y and kind of my opinion on Teslas, right? And it's not so great to say the least. I get it, it's cool infrastructure that we don't have. It's cool to play with buttons, but after all, what is the main mode of a car? To get you from point A to B, right? We're not supposed to be driving around in a home theater system on wheels, right? Oh, but you can play Angry Birds, right? Or you could use the auto brake system or their Phantom mode. Yeah, all the Phantom mode is the car kind of drives itself, right? And it's kind of ridiculous if you think about it, because they start talking about this driverless line of PT bottom bullcrap, right? Or they start to, oh, this car is driverless. No, it isn't. Driverless cars aren't a thing, right? And it's not driverless unless there is nobody in the vehicle while it is driving. I mean, it's almost like when the Martians made a movie back in the 90s. It was about how, we're going to have cars flying around, Things are still waiting. That one's been in the works since, the early 90s, right? VCRs were still a thing. Right? And I can't get over this next recall from Kia. They have recalled more engines. I mean, this car company is a failing disaster of a company. You buy a car, and this is a surfer over in California that sent me this message. You buy a car, right? It's got 15,000 miles on it, and the transmission goes out. Now, he gets it covered underneath the warranty, right? But of course, it should have to break at 15,000 miles. And you might think, oh, well, he gets it done for free. Hey, throw a couple of Benjamins down the toilet. Yeah, but he got to pay for an Uber. And he's got 2 kids he's got to drive to school. How is he supposed to do that, Kia? I mean, come on now. Of course he didn't listen to me in the first place. And he bought this piece of junk. And you know what I got to say to him? Oh, yeah, Kia, listen up. Sell him a Toyota. He won't regret it. Okay. And next topic is from a situation in with kind of like the way policing has gone. And what I want to know, this is kind of like a personal, kind of like a question of mine that I had going on for a while, is why on earth does up in New Hampshire, why do they have rear-wheel drive Ford cop cars, Dodge cop car, the Chargers? But down in Massachusetts, keep in mind it's northern New Hampshire. They got, Dodge Chargers and stuff like that. Those things are rear-wheel drive. Listen to this disgusting waste of my tax-paying dollars, right? They have the Ford SUVs in Boston, right? Well, there's a lot more plows in Boston than they are in the White Mountains and stuff like that. So in my mind, it kind of looks like, New Hampshire gets to drive around the crappy stuff, but Boston, there's crazy taxes there, mind you. Crazy tax, but you get the leather seats, baby. Okay. Next one is from one of you viewers with a 2015 Nissan Maxima. And he has had quite a pain in the ass with this car, right? He says that at first had a problem with the overheating of the engine. And then the transmission, the CVT Nissan Jatco fall apart transmission went out on this car. And then he figured out what was going on inside of the engine, and it was a head gasket, right? Well, you thought it was over yet? Well, baby, we're just getting started, baby. We are just getting started. Nissan isn't what they used to be, really. So he fixes the head gasket and the engine and the CVT on a 30,000 mile car. This is, remind you, 30,000 miles, right? So he does that, right? And the CVT goes out again. I mean, what piece of junk is this? Okay? And you might say, oh, well, what piece of junk is that? Well, what type of question is that, smartass? Like, it is a Nissan, and you got to kind of have some, Johnny Carson style mentality here because, it kind of disrupts you from, thinking about and making your stomach sick about all the problems Nissans have been having recently. And the Mitsubishi SUVs, like the Outlanders, oh yeah, you know how many times I've had somebody come to me and say, oh, I bought this instead of the Nissan Rogue Sport. Oh, Mitsubishi Outlander is a rebadged Nissan Rogue Sport with a Jatco CVT transmission in it. Just like some of the Mazdas, like the 6-cylinder Speed 6s and the Ford Fusions and the Dodge Avengers. Guess what? They have CVT Nissan transmissions in them. Jatco is a Japanese automatic transmission corporation. And all they do is supply junk to junky cars. Dodge Avenger is a piece of crap with a piece of crap. It kind of meshes up together because the Dodges will be rusted all long before the transmission fails, right? Okay, the next one is from a taxi system. Ready? More and more and more corruption coming from New York City, where this taxi driver isn't paying attention, right? And he almost clips somebody in the stop sign. So the guy gets angry and bashes his mirror in, right? I mean, if you're going to drive a taxi, do you really want the guy getting angry and taking out your mirror? I don't know. But, it's the new norm, baby. New norm in New York City. Hey, you know what I got to say? Doc can be a hillbilly in the hills like me. Down in the south. That's how we do it. I'll take a couple of teeth out and we'll be good. It's just like, and just kind of leads me into the next topic, right? Where now, trash quality control from Xbox. Oh, well, that's a shocking statement that they have an issue where when you power them on, when they're brand new consoles, they might not even turn on. I mean, that's really ridiculous. They are such problematic pieces of crap that you spent all this money and you're all excited to turn your new system off and no one's home. I mean, really. So it's just something you don't want to play around. I don't know. Last time I checked, maybe it's not a bad idea to get a Sony. Oh, but they're not got the Xbox screen name. Well, who cares? What's the point of a system that you can't turn on? Okay, next one is from Joseph with a 2003 Ford Mustang. And he's got an issue with this Mustang that the service engine soon lamp has come on for P420. Okay? A P420 code is the catalytic system below threshold on your first bank. And hey, if you live somewhere where you don't get to play around with that stuff, leave it. Who cares? You'll sometimes just have to look at the engine light on. Now, you can ignore the engine light because what it's saying is, I got some problem, it's a catalytic converter. You might want to get a look at this when you get them in. Oftentimes, it's just something you can live with. And a catalytic converter, hey, you know how many hundreds of thousands of miles it would take for a catalytic converter running at 93% efficiency to do damage to your engine? 8.1 billion miles. I don't think you're going to drive that Mustang 8.1 million miles. I don't know. I might be an ancestor by the time you possibly drive that, but, and the way the Ford system works is when it says when a die-cast pass 95% efficiency, it's gonna put the service engine soon light on. And oftentimes, you can live with it. Okay, so the next question is from Joey, who has a 2000 BMW 528i. Thoughts on this car? Okay, so the 528s in 2000, okay cars, For one big reason is BMW, also known as Bring Money With You, formerly known as Bulgarian Motor Works, but they had a problem. So those things, they don't really have much going on. Now, of course, you're going to deal with alternators, water pumps, left and right, because they are BMWs. It is a 2000, I would have 20,000 miles a year on the thing. I wouldn't do that. I mean, if you're going to drive it a couple miles a day, maybe put 2,000 or 3,000 miles a year on it, then that can be okay. But you don't want to pay a huge amount for that thing, because that thing is not much more value than 5 or 10 grand. 10 grand is really pushing it. Hey, I'll pay 10 grand for it if it's got 20,000 miles on it. It's 20 years old, but hard to find them like that. Okay. So this brings us to the end of this video. If you like my video, like, comment, and subscribe if you want more honest reviews.